Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. We are diving into some really cool research today about how important your friends are to getting that thesis finished.
Oh, yeah.
Talking like hardcore research.
Yeah.
We've got a thesis here written by a student named Harniza from the faculty of Alauddin and Filsafat,
Okay.
UIN Alauddin Makassar.
Wow.
And it's
Okay.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
So this is all about how your friends
Right.
are a support system
Right.
during that just crazy process
Yeah.
of writing a skripsi.
Thesis writing?
Yeah.
It is a beast.
Oh, it is a beast.
Yeah.
So
It's just.
before we get too deep into this,
Yeah.
I have to admit, those thesis days, late nights, endless drafts.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just felt like I was drowning in research papers.
Oh, no.
You know,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder, how do friends actually help during that
Yeah.
kind of academic pressure cooker?
Absolutely.
What did Harniza find?
Well, one of the things that makes Harniza's research so compelling is she didn't just say, friends are good, you know? She dug into the specifics of what kind of support
Okay.
students need and how those different types of support actually work.
Okay.
She found three main categories.
Three main categories.
And what's fascinating is that they apply to so much more than just academics.
Oh, okay. Lay it on me. What are these support systems?
Okay, so first we have emotional support.
Emotional support.
Think pep talks, understanding nods when you're venting frustrations,
Oh,
celebrating even the smallest victories.
yeah.
It's that feeling of being validated and encouraged, especially when you're starting to doubt yourself.
Oh, I can see how that would be huge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Writing a thesis can be such an emotional roller coaster.
Yes,
It's easy to feel isolated and overwhelmed.
absolutely.
Did Harniza find that this kind of emotional support had a direct impact on students' motivation or their ability to actually finish their skripsi?
Absolutely. Harniza actually interviewed students for this. Yeah. And one quote that really stuck with me was from a student who said, "My friend's belief in me kept me going even when I wanted to give up."
Wow.
That sentiment really echoes throughout her findings.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. Students who felt emotionally supported by their friends tended to have higher levels of motivation and resilience.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like knowing you have a team in your corner cheering you on.
Exactly.
But what about the more practical side of things?
Okay.
Did Harniza look at how friends help with the actual work of writing a thesis?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
That's where the second type of support comes in informational support.
Informational support.
It's about guidance, advice, and feedback.
Okay.
Imagine your friend helping you untangle a tricky concept, suggesting a resource you never knew existed, or proofreading your work with a fresh perspective.
Ooh.
Harniza found that this kind of support not only helps students improve the quality of their work, but also reduces stress and makes them feel more competent.
Okay. I'm starting to see how these different types of support fit together, right? Emotional support keeps you going. Informational support gives you the tools you need to succeed.
Right.
But what about when you need more than just advice?
Yes.
What if you're so swamped you can barely keep your head above water?
This is where instrumental support comes in.
Instrumental support.
This is the direct, tangible help.
Okay.
Harniza found that this could be anything from lending a laptop when yours breaks down,
Oh, yeah.
to helping with errands when you're buried in deadlines,
For sure.
to even just making you coffee so you can power through a study session.
Wow. A friend who brings you coffee.
Right.
That's a true hero.
That is a true hero.
Speaking of going above and beyond,
Yes.
Harniza actually mentions a student whose friend lent her a laptop for 2 months when hers died.
Wow.
Talk about instrumental support.
Right.
Wow.
It's a great example of how instrumental support can be absolutely crucial,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you're facing unexpected challenges.
Go ahead.
But it's also important to acknowledge that relying heavily on friends, even for positive things, can have its downsides. That's something Harniza explores in her research as well.
Okay, I'm really curious about that.
Yeah.
It sounds like she uncovered some nuances that we don't often talk about when it comes to friendship and support.
Definitely.
Tell me more about these potential downsides.
All right, so one of the downsides Harniza highlights is what she calls the expectation trap.
The expectation trap.
Yeah, it's that feeling of obligation to constantly return favors, which can lead to resentment and pressure,
Uh-huh.
especially when you're already stressed about finishing your skripsi.
Oh, I can totally see that happening, right? It's like
Yes.
the support becomes transactional
Right,
instead of genuine.
exactly.
Did Harniza find any specific examples of this in her research?
Yes. She found that some students felt like they were always the ones giving support, while others were always on the receiving end.
Okay.
And this imbalance can create tension and even strain the friendship.
Right.
One student even said she started avoiding her friends because she felt so pressured to help them with their skripsi,
Oh, no.
even though she was struggling with her own.
That's really insightful.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that even with the best intentions, support systems can become complicated.
Absolutely.
It's like that saying, no good deed goes unpunished.
Exactly. And it highlights the importance of open communication in friendships.
Yeah.
Harniza actually found that the students who had the most successful support systems were the ones who could openly discuss their needs and boundaries.
Okay.
It wasn't about keeping score.
Yeah.
It was about genuine reciprocity and understanding.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's not just about having friends who are willing to help.
Right.
It's about having friends who you can be honest with
Yes.
about what you're going through.
Exactly.
So besides the expectation trap, what other potential downsides did Harniza uncover?
The other big one is the comparison game.
The comparison game.
Yeah, it's that feeling of inadequacy that
Yeah.
can creep in when you see your friends sailing through their skripsi.
While you're hitting every roadblock imaginable.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Yes.
It's like everyone else is on a fast track to graduation
Yeah.
while you're stuck in the slow lane.
Exactly.
Did Harnisa find that this kind of comparison had a negative impact on students' motivation or their overall well-being?
Absolutely. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, what's wrong with me?
Ah,
Why am I the only one struggling?
sure.
Harnisa found that this kind of negative self-talk can be incredibly demotivating and can even lead to feelings of anxiety and depression.
It's like that pressure to keep up with everyone else can actually make it harder to focus on your own work and your own goals.
All right.
Did Harniza offer any suggestions for how students can avoid this comparison trap?
One of the things she emphasizes is the importance of focusing on your own journey and celebrating your own progress.
Oh,
It's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others,
right.
but it's crucial to remember that everyone's experience is different.
That's so true. It's like that saying, comparison is the thief of joy. It's exactly. We're all on our own timelines, and it's important to celebrate our own milestones,
Absolutely.
no matter how big or small.
Yes.
Did Harnisa find that students who were able to avoid the comparison game were more successful in finishing their skripsi?
Her research suggests there's definitely a connection there.
Yeah.
The students who were able to focus on their own progress and celebrate their own achievements tended to have a more positive outlook and were more likely to persevere even when things got tough.
So it sounds like Harnisa's research is a reminder that while support systems are incredibly important,
Yes.
they're not always a simple solution.
Right.
There are complexities and potential downsides
Yeah.
that we need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
It's not just about having a lot of friends.
Right.
It's about having the right kind of friends.
Exactly.
The ones who can provide a balance of emotional, informational, and instrumental support,
Yes.
while also respecting your boundaries and celebrating your individuality.
That's a great way to put it. It's about having those friends who can lift you up without making you feel like you're constantly in their debt
Right.
or falling behind.
And it highlights the importance of being mindful of the dynamics in our friendships,
Yes.
especially during stressful times like reading a thesis.
This conversation has definitely given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It's easy to take our support systems for granted,
Right.
but Harniza's research shows just how crucial they are, not just for our success, but for our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that we can all play a role in creating supportive and healthy friendships,
Yeah.
not just for ourselves, but for the people around us.
I think that's a great point to pause for a moment, listener.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the types of support and the potential pitfalls,
Yeah.
but I'm curious what resonates with you most?
Right.
What stands out to you about Harniza's research?
Yeah.
And how does it connect to your own experiences with support systems?
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in the stress of it all and forget about those connections.
Oh, yeah. But Harniza's research is really, like you said, it highlights how crucial those connections are.
For sure.
Not just to getting it done, but to like your well-being,
Absolutely.
your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just about receiving support.
Right.
It's about being a source of support for others.
Absolutely.
So that makes me think, how can we be more intentional about building those supportive relationships?
Yeah.
What did Harniza have to say about that?
Well, one thing she emphasizes is simply being present and attentive.
Okay.
It's about actively listening to your friends, noticing when they might be struggling,
Yeah.
and offering a kind word or gesture of support.
Yeah, that sounds simple enough. But I think we often underestimate the power of just showing up for someone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but
It's about those small acts of kindness and understanding that can make a big difference, especially during times of stress.
right.
Remember those 3 types of support we discussed?
Uh-huh.
We can all offer them in simple, everyday ways.
All right, so it could be a pep talk when a friend is feeling down. That's emotional support.
Exactly.
Or maybe sharing a helpful resource or offering to proofread their work that's informational.
That's informational support,
And
yeah.
then there's the instrumental support, like helping with errands or even just making them dinner so they can focus on their thesis.
Absolutely. Exactly. And what's interesting is that Harniza found that even small gestures of instrumental support,
Okay.
like offering a ride or bringing a snack,
Right.
can have a significant impact on students' well-being and motivation.
Wow.
It's about showing that you care and that you're there to help in any way you can.
Yeah, it's about making them feel seen and supported.
Yeah.
You know, Harniza's research focused on finishing a skripsi,
Yeah.
but it feels like the lessons here are much broader.
Oh, for sure.
This is about life.
This is about life. Yeah.
This is about recognizing that we all need each other
Yes.
and that even small acts of support can have a ripple effect.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's about fostering a culture of support and encouragement in all aspects of our lives.
That's a great way to put it.
Harniza's work is a powerful reminder that we're not meant to go it alone.
Right.
Whether we're facing the challenges of a thesis, a career change, or any other life transition,
For sure.
having a supportive crew can make the journey less daunting and more fulfilling.
So listener, as you navigate your own challenges, remember the power of your crew. And remember that you have the power to be a source of strength and support for others as well.
Absolutely, something to think about. How can we cultivate those supportive relationships in our own lives?
Right.
And how can we be the kind of friend, colleague, or family member who makes a positive difference in the lives of others?
That's a great question to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.